Alrighty, what's up, everybody? It is BallietBran. It's time for the weekly Sunday live stream. We've got a lot of news to cover. There are always so many great things going on in HEX, and I couldn't be more proud to be a Hexican. Couldn't be more proud to put my name and face behind such an amazing and instrumental financial product. So, like I said, today we're going to do the normal live stream, maybe go for 60 to 120 minutes. And then once we're done, we'll say our goodbyes. But I want to cover all of the comments. If you guys have any questions in the chat, definitely feel free to ask away. If you got any comments as well, please do. I know HEX since the last stream. Let me go up to my chart here. HEX since the last stream is up 78.64%. So that's definitely positive price pressure, as Richard likes to talk about. And yeah, we're gonna cover a lot of stuff that's going on. Before I do play my intro, I got my notepad here. So we're gonna cover obviously the HEX price, like I mentioned. We can cover some information on forking Ethereum for those that are worried about high gas fees. Richard, he's going to be on the Lex Friedman podcast. And then we also got the Hexican.Vegas Meetup that Maddie Allin is hosting. So he's the one that hosted the first HEX conference online. And he's also going to be hosting this first in-person conference in Vegas, which is going to be June 24th through the 27th. So yeah, say it without smiling. It's hard not to, man. Mr. Smiley is my nickname. And yeah, Chris, good to see you, my friend. Spike, we got David Morales, Brian Jones, Finn Bear. I know I've seen you in the HEX audio chat. So without further ado, let me just play the intro real quick, and that'll give me some time to just share out the link to my social medias. All right, so give me 90 seconds.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, be sure to share, be sure to comment. Motherfucking jackpot. We still jackpot, bitch!
Thank you, Richard, for creating and founding the most amazing and disruptive financial technology cryptocurrency ever. Thank you, sir. And nice streams, Mr. BallietBran.
Awesome. So hope everyone's doing well today. Happy Sunday, or wherever you're in from. So Hex Bull, he asked, nice remix, who did this? So who did the remix was Joe Hexotic. And shout out to him. I asked him if I could use the video that he made in the remix for my intro. He said yes. So I added that, and then I added one of the clips that Richard shouted me out on. So yeah, Joe Hexotic, I know he's kind of been AFK for a little while. He's been working on selling his house and some other things. So, it's cool that we do have so many Hexicans producing content, right? That if one steps aside, Joe Hexotic, even Gary Funding Gym, got some stuff that he's doing as well, business related. We've got so many Hexicans that, hey, if one or two step aside, well, then we got enough content to fill in those holes. So super happy about that. Let me just say hello to all of the chat. And then we got some really cool information to cover regarding HEX, right? The top performing asset of 2020. When people ask like, oh, oh, what's this Hexicon logo you got? And I've got a sweater that's got the Hex logo and just says Hex. They're like, oh, what's this Hex thing? And then I tell them, like, that's the first thing that I tell them, that, hey, this is the top performing asset of 2020. And then I tell them, oh, it also pays you an interest. Remember when the bank used to pay you money to pretty much save your money in the savings account? They're like, yeah, I remember that, 13%, 15%. So it's really cool that we've got that product again, that financial instrument, which is what Hex is. So we got Marcavelli in the house. It was really cool actually to be on stream with you and Crypto Spar Booth with Abit Hex and Patrick Hex Lion, and that was a fun stream that we had the other day. So good to see you, Marcavelli 23. Crypto Ewok, hey, what's up? How you doing? Hex King, Elbow Cuff. Yep, Hornet UK. We got Alex K. Yeah, Naga's great. The one thing that we definitely have an abundance of in Hex is a whole bunch of unique personalities, and we got people all around the world. So it's awesome that we have such a like-minded community that can share earning interest trustlessly as a commonality. So Benny Bilzerian, he says, stake that Hex. And then we got Diraj. Good morning from Manila. Chris Huppert, good to see you. Spike. And then Finbear. And then I just want to say shout out to Finbear. I know I've seen him in the t.me/Hex Crypto. There's a new audio chat if you're not familiar with it. I posted a video last week regarding the audio chat. And all you have to do is go to t.me/Hex Crypto. And at the top where the pinned messages that Richard Hart has, there's also a voice call, and you can just click join and you're automatically muted. But there's a lot of people in that chat. And even if I go to it right now, there's always a lot of people in it. And it's really cool because you don't have to worry about showing your face or being on someone's live stream. You can kind of just pop in and ask your question or make your comments without, like I said, showing your camera or things like that. So right now there's 61 people. So if we go to, you can see the voice chat, 62 participants. So we got Whales Only in there, and we got a whole bunch of other people. So it's a really cool feature that Richard added to the Telegram chat, and I'm super, super grateful for it because it's going on for a little bit over a week. And anytime that I, get done sleeping and I wake up, usually in the shower and whatnot, I've got these waterproof headphones. I'll put them in on the voice chat, and there's always someone having a conversation there. So it's really cool. And then also, there's a couple of whales in Hex, some big players that also participate in the voice chat. So it's awesome to be able to talk to, like I said, a whole bunch of people that are like-minded, whether you've got a small amount of Hex or whether you've got billions of Hex. And so it's really cool to be able to converse with everyone and kind of bounce ideas off each other. So that's definitely something that you should check out and that you need to check out if you haven't already. Because I know there was a whole bunch of ranting and raving. Let me remove the comment off the screen. So I know there was a whole bunch of ranting and raving about Clubhouse, which to my knowledge is still Apple and iPhone exclusive. And I've got an Android, as you can see here. And so when Richard launched that Telegram equivalent to when he launched the Clubhouse equivalent on Telegram, it's really cool because someone like myself that had heard about how cool Clubhouse was, I actually got to see it in person and experience it. So it's awesome. There's always people going on. And like I said, there's about 62 people in there. Okay, so let me just shout out the rest of the fam. We got a whole bunch of people in chat, and I've got a lot of cool information to cover. So not only since the last live stream that I did a week ago at this time, not only do we have a significant pump, but there's just a lot of amazing news going on, right? The cool thing about Hex and the cool thing about this crypto is, unlike a lot of other cryptocurrencies, Richard does not promise any he doesn't promise any future work, and he doesn't promise any, there's no profits or expectations from people, right? The Howey test, it always fails that Howey test that would deem something as security. And the amazing thing is even though he doesn't promise anything and there's no future promises, there's always something going on. So lately in June 24th through the 27th is going to be a Las Vegas meetup. And then we've got a whole bunch of other things going on too that really are going to strengthen the community and strengthen the product itself. So just want to shout out to the Hex fam. We got Toby in the chat. Let me go over to Twitch and just make sure he's all modded up. But yeah, we got Toby in the chat. We got Marcavelli. Thanks everyone for being here. I really look forward to doing this stream every single week. And sometimes it's just myself doing the stream. And then usually on Tuesdays, we got the Knights of the Crypto Table that I do as well. Sorry about the delay for just a second. Let me just make sure I'm on Twitch. Okay, cool. So Toby's in there. Leonly Reigns says, cheers, BallietBran. Good to be here. So yeah, good to see you, Toby. Good to see you, Leonly Reigns. Happy to have you here. We got Limon Ortega says, good old BallietBran. Oh, hey, Finbear. He's still up. Like I said, the cool thing about Hex in the community is we got Hexicans worldwide, and it's such a grassroots movement and adoption. And it's awesome as someone like myself that's in Seattle right now, rainy, muggy Seattle. It's cool to be able to talk to everyone around the world. So Finbear, I know he's definitely not in America. He's in one of those countries over there. So it's cool to hear his stories and cool to hear different perspectives, right? So we got Todd LaRousse. Good to see you, my friend. He does amazing paintings. Todd LaRousse has some Hex paintings. Also has some also like sports players. I think he had a Michael Jordan and if I'm not mistaken, a Kobe Bryant painting as well. So you can check out his website at toddlarousse.com. I believe that's what it is. So, the cool thing, like I said, not only do we have Hexicans that are worldwide, but we got Hexicans of all different skill levels. So Todd LaRousse, he's really good at doing paintings. We've got a lot of artists. We got people like Korean Investor, people like Freddie Quotes that make music. Joe Hexotic, as you guys saw, did the remix for my intro, and it's awesome to be able to collaborate and have a whole bunch of like-minded people be able to work on one product in one project when it comes to sharing Hex with the world. Because when Bitfinesse mentions that Hex's only problem is that it's too good, it really is true. I mean, a lot of people that I know, sometimes they'll deal with almost like complacency when it comes to Hex. Like people hear about it and they're like, oh yeah, I'll get in. But if you can show them things like your Staker app, and if you can show them things like how much interest you're earning daily, hourly, yearly, people really want to earn a passive income. And I know I was really into entrepreneurship, and I was really into how to earn passive income and how to have multiple income streams before I got into crypto and before I got into Hex. And Hex really is one of those things. Will's only mentioned it recently in the audio chat that you can fall asleep and you're still earning interest. Like someone else also mentioned in the Hex Telegram voice chat that there's always like guarantees in life, right? There's taxes, there's death, and then there's the daily payout per T-share. And so it's awesome to see that you just take the amount of T-shares that you have in total, you multiply that by the daily payout, and that's how much you're earning daily, obviously until those stakes end. So it's really cool, and it really goes a long ways. It's awesome to see. And we're still so early. I mean, Richard kind of mentions the analogy because Richard not only was successful before Bitcoin came out, but he was retired. I think it was like 6 years before Bitcoin came out. And so you always hear these straw man arguments like, oh, that guy, yeah, he's only rich because he bought Bitcoin, really early. And it's like, I mean, that person was actually retired before it came out. So clearly it wasn't just Bitcoin that made him well off. And a lot of us will be able to relate, in my opinion, with HEX. So let me just say hello to everyone in the chat again. Thank you for everyone being here. Like I said, I really do look forward to doing the stream every week. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for coming every week and participating. Right now we got 46 people watching, and I appreciate the engagement, the interaction, and also like the questions you guys may have too. As someone that's been following Richard since 2017 and been in since day one, I like to think that I know a decent amount regarding HEX, but there's also things that you guys may comment that I may have never thought of before, and things that can be, conducive to success. So I want to say shout out to the chat. So we got Nuzdarov. He says hello. Spike. Let's see. The chat just skipped real quick. Limon Ortega says HEX community needs to start shilling nomics. Why don't we just do that right now? So I do actually have nomics pulled up. Let me share the screen real quick. And here we're gonna go. Okay, cool. And then we'll leave his comment up there. So nomics.com. Let me actually go to the main real quick here. So just nomics, NOMICS.com, nomics. It beats CoinMarketCap by a long shot, right? It's crazy. So when you've got things like nomics and things like CoinMarketCap, they're supposed to be ranking websites, right? That are supposed to reflect the accurate data of each individual coin's market cap. And we see that, I think it's CoinGecko as well. So CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, I don't usually like to name them by name, but for this instance, I will. They are gatekeeping things like HEX. And HEX is ranked like 202 or something like that on CoinMarketCap. And then on the other one, CoinGecko, they just don't provide the accurate data. So that's one of the reasons why I like to use nomics.com. They use the most realistic, up-to-date, accurate data. So we can see Bitcoin is kind of down in a lull, down 2.23%. We're just going to scroll down a smidge, and what do you know? HEX is number 13. So it's just right below, Chainlink. So we're coming for you, Link Marines, and we got the Hexican Space Force coming at your ass. So watch out, because we're definitely going to nip you in the bud. All right, so this is just the you can scroll by all year to date, 1 year, month, weekly, 1 day. Similar to any other market cap ranking website, but this one definitely shows the latest news, the latest information, and then down here it says the daily performance. Kind of talks about HEX and a whole bunch of other details right here. So without further ado, so we're number 13 on the market cap. That's great. While we're talking about price, let me guys show you my uniswap.hex.vision trading chart. So let's go to share. Okay, so uniswap.hex.vision. And for the most accurate liquidity and the accurate volume, you want to make sure that you're on version 2. And version 1 is great for the historical price, but version 2 is definitely the most up-to-date, the most liquid. All right, so if we scroll in just a smidge, this is just the HEX/USDC pair. And like I said, version 2, and then we're on the hourly. So since I do this stream every week, I just wanted to show you guys and gals where the price is since the last time that I streamed around this time. So you can see the 169 bars. It's 7 days and 1 hour. So we're 1 hour off. But we can see that from its low to even its most recent high just yesterday, we're up 78.64%. Now, where else can you get those kinds of gains other than crypto and other than HEX? So I just want to say it's awesome that HEX is designed to pump. right? It's got all of the economics that you would ever want in a store of value or a currency. And it just does everything, combines it into one cryptocurrency, and then you've just got the price performance that it does, and it's amazing. Okay, so let me go back to the chat here. Marcin _ Hexican for life says Nomics. Exactly. Yeah, Nomics is great. And actually, Matty Allen, he's going to be having a premiere stream of Clay and Richard Hart. So Clay is the founder of Nomics, and then obviously we know Richard, the founder of Hex. But he was able to get an audio recording of their chat most recently, just like a couple days ago. And he's going to be airing that at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's about an hour and 40 minutes from now, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, Limon Ortega says, Ortega says, yo, any technical analysis people in here? What's the next bottom for Hex? I mean, when I go to the share screen, and let's just kind of put this back out to like a daily, and then scroll in a smidge. We've honestly been hovering around like the penny range, like whether it be a little bit above or a little bit below for the longest time, it's felt, right? For many, many months. So what's the bottom they say? I mean, I don't know. I mean, the local bottom here is at like 68% of a penny. But thing is Hex likes to consolidate for a certain amount of time. And then once it's done consolidating, it's like a spring that keeps coiling and getting tighter and tighter and more tense and tense until that, you have a breakout and blow off top where, not blow off top, but you have a breakout where it kind of just goes straight up and parabolic from all of the condensed energy. I don't think that we're going to be dipping anytime soon, personally. I mean, even recently, when we go back into it, we had a small dip down to like 1.55 pennies, and then it got eaten up again, and now we're at 1.66 pennies. And it's really cool to see. I mean, especially for the big payday event, a lot of traders in crypto, they tend to like buy the rumor, sell the news. And so big payday was exactly that, right? It was a lot of people that were speculating on Hex. They sold it, and that's fine. It allowed a lot of people to, get in for a good price. But it seems like right now that a lot of the sellers are exhausted, and it's pretty cool to see that we got a lot more buyers than sellers, it seems. Yeah, Vince, everyone here is an admin, LOL. The thing is sometimes, especially with like YouTube live streams, there can always be people that like troll the chat. And everyone that's a moderator on my channel, they've proven themselves over the history and over the times that I've known them to be trustworthy. So yeah, I got a lot of moderators. I know Hexologist, he had similar, not confrontation, but he had similar flack that was given to him about a lot of people being moderators. But I'd rather have like an army of 300, that I can trust than just have like a couple moderators and then put all the stress and wear and tear on them. So yeah, there's a lot of moderators in here. Diraj, hey, good to see you, my friend, says, no technical analysis expert, but resistance becomes support. Just buy and stake. Yeah, resistance does become support. Richard did have a live stream. Sorry, not a live stream, but just a screenshot on his computer saying that like, I've never seen in technical analysis a quadruple top, pretty much, where it kind of goes back to the same price, 4 times in a row. And so that's pretty cool to see. I mean, Hex definitely is a unique crypto, unique product, and the price chart itself is amazingly unique as well. Takes one to know one. Totally agree. Hey, Blue Bum, good to see you, my friend. I know he was on the stream last night with Yash Deep, Whales Only, Crypto Vince, and Unwrecked Pirate. So that was awesome to see. Also appreciate the shout out, Yash Deep and Crypto Vince. I'm really looking forward to the Las Vegas trip. I've never I've never been to Las Vegas, but I'm really looking forward to it. So I guess without further ado, we can cover some of that information as well, since it's on the topic. Let me add something real quick here. So the URL that I'm going to go to, I've already got it on the other tab, but it's Hexican.Vegas. So let me just share that now. Okay. All right. So Hexican.Vegas. So if anyone wasn't familiar, right here, Matty Allen, he was the person that hosted the first Hexican conference, which I believe was like January 6th through the 9th, something like that, 2021, just about 3.5 months ago. So he hosted the online conference, and then now he's going to be hosting the in-person conference, or I guess Meetup is a better term. So Hexican.Vegas Meetup 2021 says first Hex Mass Meetup, June 24th through the 27th. So it's a 9-minute read. If we just scroll down a little bit, we'll just cover just a couple of the things that are on this itinerary and article. So you can go to t.me/hex meetup. That's the chat. And then there's a t.me/hex meet. You want to turn on both of those channels for the notifications to get the latest information on what the details are. Now, I did ask Maddie because I'm curious. I will be going, but I did ask him. I guess him and RG3 and maybe another person are going to be negotiating possibly like a bulk deal. So I just want to, I asked him like, hey, do you know which hotel it is? And do you kind of know what the deal is? And so we're going to find that information out hopefully soon. But it's something I'm really looking forward to. Like I mentioned, I've never been to Vegas. So it'll be cool the first time to see all the Hexicans and hang out with the Hexicans. So he's got the final dates right here, June 24th through the 27th. And then let me just scroll down just a little bit. Okay, so the first day, I believe it's going to be Thursday. Yeah, Thursday, June 24th, the pre-meetup and travel day. It's going to start off at 4 p.m. Vegas time, meeting at the top of the Strat. So at 5 p.m., we'll have a Cheers to Hex. And it's kind of like the Vegas version of the Space Needle. So that's awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. And I guess you can like bungee jump off and there's like I think a roller coaster on it as well. I won't be doing that because I'm not that much of an adrenaline junkie in that regard. But we'll definitely be having a good time, without me doing the roller coasters. So yeah, Hexican.Vegas is where you can find out more. And that's definitely going to be a great time. All right, so let me stop sharing the screen there. So yeah, you can go to Hexican.Vegas if you want to know more. Diraj Moore says, so what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Totally. I mean, yeah, I've got body cameras and whatnot, but I'm not going to be filming unless the people that I'm with want to be filmed. So yeah, we're definitely going to try and keep it discreet if people don't want to be filmed. Let's see. Marcin_Hexican for life says, greeting from Norway. I didn't know that you were from Norway, but that's awesome. Super happy to hear that, Marcin. Thanks for coming on. And then Michael_Hex says, I'm late. Nate Dogg spitting fire in Hex chat. Yeah, Nate is great. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, if you're not joining the t.me/Hex crypto audio chat, then you're really missing out on a lot. And there's definitely a whole bunch of people in there that are like-minded and we can kind of challenge each other on ideas that we have and also just converse and have a good time, right? Like I said, I've been in Hex since, a very long time, since day one. And I've met definitely people that have a lot bigger bags than I do, sharks and whales and whatnot. But it's even cooler to be able to converse with those people in an audio chat. And kind of like also the cool thing about it is like when I'm watching a video on my phone, this is just a D-Live, but in a video, say a YouTube video, if I click the lock screen, since I don't have YouTube Premium, it's going to stop the video. But with the Hex, sorry about that. With the Hex audio, it will continue playing the audio. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Toby says, who's paying for Bran's first lap dance? I'm not sure. I know I did shout out, I know Yash Deep and Crypto Vince kind of shouted me out yesterday during their stream. And, me and Yash will definitely be hanging out, and whoever else is going to be there. So, yeah, it's cool. I mean, I've got 3 older brothers. They've all been to Vegas before, and so have some of my friends. And so since I haven't, like I said, what a better first time than to do it with a lot of the Hexicans. And I'll definitely be there the 24th through the 27th. And I got the day off before and the day off after, so I got a little bit of recovery time. Aaron Wisman says, "Evening, Bran. Thanks so much for what you do." Hey, thanks, Aaron. I appreciate it. The cool thing about this community is we really have a strong group of people and a strong link, right? Sometimes I hear the saying, and I really agree with this actually quite a bit, but you're only as strong as your weakest link. And so if your weakest link is all the way down here and you've got a whole bunch of people up here, then it kind of averages to like maybe right here. But if you can take that person that's the weakest link and bring them up to your level, then now you're going to kind of like converge and go even higher. And we've got a lot of Hexicans that, like I said, we share a lot of the similar ideals, similar to like Bitcoin, the cypherpunk movement, right? A lot of them shared security, anonymity, kind of just like sovereignty in common. And it's cool that now 10 or 12 years later with Hex, we've got a similar situation going on with a better cryptocurrency, in my opinion. So, yeah, Marcavelli says Hex 24/7. It's true, and it's also cool. Like I've always been interested. Like the only country I've been outside of United States was just Mexico, and so we went to Puerto Vallarta, and that was great. But it's cool to listen on like a constant basis. People from all around the world. Even the people from down under. So it's awesome. Scary word and concept. How long ago did you get into Hex? So I got into Hex since day one. So it was launched December 2nd, 2019. And I got in on day one. I had been following Richard since about March/April 2017. And honestly, I was kind of like not degenerate, but I was definitely in a lot of the altcoins at the time. Litecoin was a big crypto that I was in. That kind of like was like my primary holding, pretty much Litecoin and Bitcoin and some of the other cryptocurrencies. But when Richard Hart had kind of talked about some of the problems that he had seen in the space with Ethereum and from a Bitcoin maximalist perspective, I had really always cherished Richard's opinion, because I'd always seen like, man, this guy is legit. I might not agree with everything he says, but I can tell that he's speaking from the heart, which is why he picked that last name, Richard Hart. So yeah, I've been in since day one. It's been an absolute game changer and a life changer. One thing I don't share a lot is, in 2017, there was a lot of coins. Like I had bought the top, I'd sold the top of Litecoin, and then so the top was like 420, and then I sold 420, and then I bought at like 350. Like I saw like, oh, it's going down a little bit. This is a great time to buy and accumulate. And it went all the way from like 350 back down to like $33, which was like my first initial buy. So it was cool to have someone like Richard mention a lot of the problems that were happening in crypto at that time, and that he was the one that was willing to provide a solution. So that was really cool to see. And like I said, I couldn't be happier. Even in 2017, I was even debating like, man, do I want to make YouTube videos on Litecoin and Bitcoin and Ethereum? And I didn't. I was like primarily into op security, operational security, and didn't want to put my name out there publicly, which is why I had a couple anonymous accounts. But ever since Hex came out, and ever since Richard Hart created Hex, I realized like, man, this product is too good not to say something about it. So Hexologist was the first person that, to my knowledge, that came out, and he's been doing daily live streams ever since. And then RG3 was actually the first person that inspired me to get out of my comfort zone and to join his stream. So for anyone that doesn't know, every Friday it's at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But RG3 does the Discord Syndicate effing hangout, and pretty much invites anyone that's willing to come on. That's also going to turn on their camera as well. So that way they're not trolling. If you're turning on a camera and the audio, then you can kind of converse with some of the people that had been in Hex for a long time. So shout out to RG3, because like I said, he's the one that inspired me to get in. And the first time I joined, I was really nervous, but then I realized, like, man, once I got through the audio issues on my phone, I realized, like, hey, I'm with people that are like-minded, that share a lot of similar ideals and similar experiences in crypto. So that was awesome. Yeah, Piston Broke, Quattro Cinco says, hey, Bran, hope you are well. Hey, I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the stream today. And there's still a lot of news that I've got on this this little legal notepad that I want to cover real quick. 1 ETH equals 100K Hex. Yeah, Hex is definitely doing great. Machiavelli says, just bought another 100,000 Hex, waiting to stake. Personally speaking, that's one thing that I've learned is when Hex first came out, the transactions would be like a penny to like 10 pennies to actually run the fees and even to do the end stake, right? It was really cheap. And now it's gone up more, which is why Richard is forking the Ethereum network. But the thing that I've learned with the higher gas fees is have less frequent stakes and to have bigger stakes and just longer stakes as well, because longer will always pay better. So in Hex, you've got what's called just a T-share, which is just 1 trillion shares. And then if you stake for 1 year, you get 20% more T-shares. So it's similar to a like a CD in the real world, and like a jumbo CD is what I'm trying to say. So that actual rate of return maxes out at 10 years, which is 3,641 days. And you can get up to 3 times the T-share if you stake out for 3,641 days to 5,555 days. So we got Hextoshi in the house. He does a little cheer, Party 100. Let me make sure you're actually modded up as well. We could use all the help on all the platforms. Let me just get him added real quick here. Maybe he's already added. Yeah, Hextoshi, I'll add you after the stream if you're not already. Donald Brandt, hey, good to see you, my friend. I know I had seen your stream the other day, and yeah, man, hope you're doing well. Donald's another Hexican, and I joined his stream one time, and great person. It's really cool that not only do we have Hexicans all around the world, but we've got all age ranges as well. And it's really awesome to be able to, share similarities and commonalities with people that are like my parents' age, because like I mentioned, a lot of people, they do remember when the banks would pay you a decent interest and a decent yield to put your money in their accounts. So Ozzy Mandias _369 says, get your T-shares, Machiavelli. Yeah, the T-shares are really the name of the game. And the cool thing about Hex is the actual the amount of Hex per share can only ever go up. And then obviously the Hex versus the dollar, that can obviously fluctuate because you've got something that's kind of unstable. But the amount of Hex per T-share always goes up. And we can actually look at that right now, because I want to break down just a little bit of math on an account that I feel comfortable sharing. So we'll do that now. Let me share the screen. So yeah, this is an account that I feel comfortable sharing. Some of the other accounts that I shared back in the day, the numbers are getting a little bit too big that I don't feel comfortable sharing those. So this one, we've got 0 Hex in the pod, but we've got like 104,117. That's the current value. But right here, we have the T-shares, right? Like I mentioned, the Terra shares. So the longer you stake, we can see on this one, December 27th, 2020 was when it started, and it's going to end March 13th, 2036. So that stake specifically earned 3 times the amount of T-shares because it was staked for the longest duration. Now, let me just break down a little bit of math for you Hexicans. And I know this is done on staker.app, so it kind of automatically does this for you. But if you ever want to know the manual calculation, let me show you. Here's how. Okay, so you see the T-shares. I'm just going to multiply this number. We're going to take, okay, so 14.067, and we're going to multiply it by yesterday's payout per T-share. So yesterday's payout per T-share was 5.871. Okay, so 14.067, the amount of T-shares in this wallet, times 5.871 is 82.5873. So we're gonna copy this, and let me stop sharing the screen. We'll go back to Nomics real quick. Okay, so we're gonna go back to Nomics real quick. We're gonna scroll down to number 13 where HEX is, and this is pretty cool. So down here you can convert dollars into HEX. So if I want to do $1, it's worth 59.73 HEX, or I can do the opposite, which is the amount that I'm earning daily in this wallet, which is 82.587. So now we see a dollar value of $1.38, right? So for this wallet specifically, if I take $1.38 times 365, so I'm earning $503.7 just on this wallet alone annually, and that's just this wallet that I feel comfortable with. I've got other wallets as well that have significantly more T-shares, and it's amazing to see that, like I mentioned, the actual cost per T-share in HEX value only goes up. It can literally never go down. You know, the actual US dollar value can fluctuate and go up and down. But it's amazing to see that, like, the big payday itself, it used to be like 10,000 HEX per T-share, and now it's like 17,100 something. So it's significantly higher. And that actual T-share rate in HEX is what is the analog. It's analogous for compounding interest. So as long as you have your stake, so say I've got a 1 T-share stake today for 5,555 days, 15.2 years. As long as I have that stake, I will continue having that 1 T-share rate the whole time. And so throughout those 15.2 years, the actual share rate itself in HEX value might go from, say, 17,000 to, say, 100,000, just to make even numbers. And then you've got, just a higher amount that people are paying per T-share. So yeah, Piston broke. This is his girlfriend's wallet, right? No, this is actually like a separate sub wallet that I set up for airing on live streams, because yeah, the one that I had before is just getting a little bit too big to feel comfortable sharing. But yeah, the girlfriend definitely does have a wallet, and tip for anyone is if you do have a significant other, what I did is I set her up with her own separate wallet. That way, they don't need to look at your wallet. So that's just something that I may or may not have done. Spike says, waiting is losing days that could be accumulating. Ermif Noy says, LOL, when I was your age, I got 18% on a 6-month CD. That's impressive. That is really impressive. That's awesome to hear. And it's crazy how much things have progressed, right? And almost how much they've digressed, right? You've gone from a high interest, a high yield and a high paying interest to now, if you've got your money in the savings account now, not a CD, but just a savings account, you're earning like 0.18% interest, if that. And that doesn't even keep up with the cost of inflation. So it's important to be able to guard yourself and shield yourself with knowledge and with information, right? Because then you realize, oh, if I've got 30,000 just sitting in the savings account, well, I'm actually being diluted. And especially with all of this helicopter money that we have in the United States and just globally, eventually that $50,000 that you have, or the 30,000 you have, it's going to cost more to buy your day-to-day goods in dollars. And so the cool thing about HEX is, it pretty much is a store of value. And I actually do have a clip of Richard Hart kind of talking. Let me see if I can go to the clip. I did have a clip at least of Richard Hart kind of sharing that his vision for HEX. So I accidentally deleted the tab, so we're not going to go to it right away just because I don't want to waste everyone's time. But let's go back to the chat. So Cal W says, Balliet, you are starting to become one of my favorite HEX streamers. Hey, I appreciate that. Like I said, there's a Hexican for everyone. And not only do we have a lot of HEX streamers, but we've got a lot of Hexicans that participate outside of streams. So if you're just tuning in, you can go to t.me/hexcrypto, and there's an audio chat that many Hexicans are participating in. And earlier when the stream was just starting, there was like 62 people in that chat. So, and there was also some big whales in the chat that own like 1 billion and more HEX. So I'm not going to say their names specifically, but it's awesome to be able to talk with people that are like-minded and that hold a large amount of HEX, because you can kind of see like what their thoughts are, right? They're not just in HEX to just dump on everyone's head when HEX goes to $1. And they're not just in it to just market sell and just crash the price for their own gain. Like when I listen to that specific person talking, they want to be methodical and they want to like preserve obviously the community. And when you have such a big bag, they understand that they could impact the price quite significantly. So it's awesome to be able to hear what people are thinking and what their ideas are. So Cream de la Cream says, salute Hexicans. Glad to be here. Thanks for coming on. Ozymandias. Okay, let's see. So yeah, that's pretty much all the Hexicans there. Okay, so what else do we have? So we got the HEX prices pumping. We got the HEX. We got Richard that's going to be hard forking Ethereum, and that means that HEX is going to be on its own new chain. So it's going to be on a fork of Ethereum. Now we don't know all the details, right? We don't know if there's going to be a actual token airdrop or if it's just going to be a system state transfer. But we know that that is very possible, right? That there could be a token airdrop. And, following Richard, people that I know have been able to claim the Uni airdrop, been able to claim the 1-inch airdrop, been able to claim, the 1-inch / Mooniswap airdrop. And then also someone that I know was able to claim the Tornado.cash airdrop, which does like anonymity for Ethereum. And they did pretty well on that too. So Richard has definitely been quite the cash cow if you follow him and listen to what he says, right? Now you don't necessarily have to take everything for advice, but the people that have done very well. So I mentioned the forking Ethereum, right? Like I mentioned, when I got into HEX, I remember the transaction fees for like starting a stake would be like 1 penny. And my first stake ever was like for like 1 week, just because I wanted to make sure that everything worked fine. And then after that week happened and after I ended the stake and realized the interest, I was like, okay, time to push this out long and far. And we've seen that the fees have obviously gone up higher, but that's just a temporary problem. And we also do have a solution to that. So Richard mentioned that the fees possibly on this new fork of Ethereum could possibly go back down to 1 penny. And you can't ever have the fees go down to 0, because then you can have vulnerabilities and attack surfaces for like bots and things like that to spam up the network. But fees could go back down to like 1 penny up to like $1, just from what little I've heard. So, okay. Piston Broke says, I may have missed it. What image is on your T-shirt? Let me. I didn't realize I was sharing the screen the whole time. Let me stop sharing the screen. So we got like an astronaut, and then got the HEX logo right here. It's not on vinyl, so it's a little bit purple up here, but ever that color is kind of hard to mimic anyways, and it looks good enough on the camera. So we got this astronaut, and he's kind of like doing like a, I don't know, like one of those Neo things, and then it says, sorry, this is fucking me up, but it says 5,555 over here, and then it says stake. So actually, for anyone that's not familiar, in the comments, the description down below, I've got like 4 different links that you can actually buy this shirt, and then 3 other shirts that are a little bit different too. So there's this one. There's another one that I believe is this one in hoodie form, and then there's another one that says buy the dip, and then one last one that's just a Hex logo. So that's in my YouTube description right now. Let me see if I can actually share it with you guys, just so y'all can see. It is an Amazon link. Let me share the screen real quick here. Okay, so this is the first link. I actually haven't bought this one yet, so obviously I need to before I kind of comment on it. But this one's just a Hex logo with nothing else. Let's go to the next one. Okay, 1 second here. Okay, so here's the next one here. Like I said, it's just on Amazon. So wherever Amazon is available to you. I'm actually sending this one and the Buy the Dip Hex shirt, and I'm sending it to Hexologist as just a thank you for all he's done. So I recently found that these were on Amazon recently, and yeah, I asked Hexologist, like, hey, do you have these shirts yet? And if not, I want to buy some and send them to your PO box, just because I appreciate all that he does. So going to be, Hexologist is going to be representing these soon, but the brand is, or the company, I guess, manufacturer is Crypto Style USA. But like I said, they're just in the description right here in the YouTube comments, but you can have multiple colors, blue, baby blue, green, the whole 9 yards. There's a lot of different options, but it's really good quality. It's soft, it's comfortable. And yeah, I like this one. And then let's share the other 2, I guess, real quick. So this one's just a hoodie. I haven't bought this one yet. I have the t-shirt version of this, and I need to buy the hoodie soon. But it's a Buy the Dip Hex hoodie, and then a cryptocurrency hooded sweatshirt. So it kind of looks like a neon blue, and like I said, there's a couple different colors. So black, indigo blue, maroon. The maroon kind of looks cool. I like that. But then, just a couple different colors that one comes in. And then there's the other one, just the Buy the Dip. We'll share that. Why not? Let's just share that real quick here. Okay. And then this one here, just the Buy the Dip, right? And I kind of like it because the DIP, right, the I, like the Hex logo itself is kind of like the actual I, and then Buy the Dip. So that one looks great too. So a shout out to Crypto Styles USA for manufacturing those. Those are really cool, and I'm definitely happy to wear those. Okay, let's get back to the chat real quick, and got a couple other things, and we'll see how everyone's doing. All right, Nuzdarov says there's more and more new people joining with standard questions, and it's super nice to help them out. Just as original gangster Hexicans were helping me when I was new. The cool thing about Hex is, someone like myself that's been around since day one, and even people like yourself, you're able to help and educate new people that are interested in Hex and getting in. And even today, after my stream, I'm gonna go eat some dinner with my girlfriend and one of her friends. And with one of her friends that we're gonna go eat with, I set them up with the wallet, right, for their birthday and for Christmas. Got the guy and his girlfriend. So I set them up with their own wallet each. It was like $100 at the time, but that was back in October. And now it's worth, significantly more. And they got the Staker app, right? And they're constantly refreshing. And yesterday I was telling them, like, hey, refresh your Staker app, see what the price is at. But today, now they're so excited about Hex and about the concept, right, of not only a cryptocurrency that goes up and to the right, but also earning interest trustlessly and on a daily basis. Then now they're wanting to throw another like $2,000 of their own money into Hex, and they want to get involved. So today I'll be helping them set up a account with Coinbase or Gemini, somewhere where they can fiat onboard, and then I'll help them get to go.hex.com as well. So it's awesome that that Hex, it's naturally like spreading awareness, right? People see the logo. I'll remove that. So people see the logo right here, and you got the magenta up here, and you got the geometrical and almost like geometrical growth within the Hex logo itself that goes up and to the right and that gets bigger. And then I've got a lot of people that even at my work, I'll wear like my work hat, so I'm at least representing the company. But then I've got a Hex hoodie and the work logo T-shirt under that. But they say like, man, what is this Hex thing? And like I mentioned, I tell them it was the top performing asset of 2020. And, it's similar to Bitcoin, except it's more secure and it actually pays you an interest. So these same people last night that were showing interest in Hex, they were saying like, oh, we want to buy some Bitcoin too. And it's like, yeah, that's fine. You can buy whatever you want. But just realize Bitcoin doesn't pay you an interest, right? If you just have one Bitcoin, you just have one Bitcoin. But if you just have 100,000 Hex, or if you just have one T-share of Hex and you stake that, then inevitably you're going to be earning interest based on how long you stake it for. And it incentivizes you to stake it for longer. So Hex is just absolutely amazing. It's worked out honestly better than I thought it ever would. Like I said, I've been in crypto since 2017 and got my ass wrecked in a couple of cryptocurrencies by buying the top and just holding all the way down. So I have those diamond hands, and I never sold at the very bottom. But when I saw that Richard was coming out with Hex and the interest in the yield, I sold all of the free claim Bitcoin, sold everything into Ethereum, and then kind of just averaged in the adoption amplifier. And I'm grateful and happy to say that the losses that I had in 2017/2018 are now significant gains. And like I said, couldn't be more happy to represent an amazing product, right? When sometimes you see people, they're like, oh, I got this Amway, I got this Herbalife, or I got this thing. And you can tell it's like just a fad, right? Or they're just trying to like make a quick buck. But this is different. Like I've never put my name behind something. And I've never put my YouTube channel that I've had for over 14 years as a 24-year-old. So when I was 10, I created it. Never had something that I felt comfortable promoting, right? But this isn't even something that I'm promoting. It's something that I'm like trying to just spread the awareness and education to people, because it really is one of those like lifesavers. I mean, a lot of people, I've done interviews with Nardo, and he mentioned I wasn't really old enough for it, but a lot of people had their 401ks in 2008, 2009 go completely down, and had investments that they were invested in go completely down. And it's cool to be able to have something that doesn't have middlemen, that doesn't have counterparty, but just performs and works 100%, as it was said in the layman guide. So let me say hi to the rest of the chat. Mrs. Hexquisite, she's actually on the Hex Asians channel. So I know I've seen her at least once or twice on the audio call for the Hex Asian channel with Papa B, with a lot of the Hexicans, Vince and Crypto King, and some of the other people as well. So Kevin Pham as well. So like I said, there's so many cool like subgroups. We got Australian Hexicans, Unwrecked, and Sammy, and Blue Bum, who's even in the chat too. So it's really cool that and it's not just like one person that like shares similar ideals. Like it's all people from different walks of life that realize that there really is nothing better to put your hard-earned money in than Hex, because it is going to pay you an interest, and it is really going to be like a hedge towards hyperinflation. You can't really control the Fed doing burr the whole time and just printing helicopter money, but you know what you're getting involved with when you get into Hex, and you know that the inflation rate is 3.69% on the total value of Hex. But the thing is that inflation rate is only, it's only realized when stakes actually end, so that inflation goes to the stakers. So it's actually less than 3.69% because the average staking length is now like 5.3 something years. So, now you have the 3.69% inflation rate that doesn't even get realized until, many years down the road. And it goes to people that are like true believers. So that's awesome. Let's see here. Hey, Crypto Learner. Hey, good to see you, my friend. It's awesome. Great job, Bran. You got this. Hey, thank you very much. Like I said, I look forward to being able to do these streams. And next week, I should be having a Hexican on that I look forward to having on. And but I also like these solo streams too, right? I like being able to rant to the people that are willing to listen. Okay, so Marcavelli says 99,543 hex out for Quattro Cinco. Will net you 17.382 T-shares at current prices. Gas was $13 in Ethereum, slow transaction. Exactly, and that is the other thing is when you're staking. If you're using something like Uniswap, I think the contract is set up in a certain way where like you don't necessarily want to be hitting the slow transaction because it might actually fail. But I do slow transactions for go.hex.com, and I've maybe only ever had one ever fail on me out of like 100 plus stakes. So the odds are pretty good to hit the slow transaction and be able to get your transaction in. Oh, nice. Yeah. Hextoshi says, just bought one, brand. Yeah, it's awesome. So for the Hexican.Vegas conference and Meetup and whatnot, Maddie had a couple of these links up there and even had these links to these like glow in the dark shoes, which I should probably get me a pair of those too. But it's going to be awesome. I mean, even myself, I've got probably like 10 to 12 different articles of clothing just from like sheer excitement out of being a Hexican that I purchased myself, right, or made myself. And yeah, these shirts on the links below, they're definitely affordable. They're not like super expensive or anything. The quality is good. It's soft cotton, and happy that you got one. Duraj looks like Brandon has been working out. Thanks, man. Been trying to get rid of some of the excess habits, right? The excess, and especially with like the Hexican meetup and whatnot. Not for that to be like the sole motivation, but the cool thing about Hex is like a lot of us, since we're all kind of on a similar page, like, I've even had some people kind of like check up on me like, hey, Brand, how you doing? And this and that. And it's cool to have people that, really genuinely care for like your well-being. And so trying to make some healthier habits, and happy that you notice, time to get back into the gym and get some muscle back, and just some other things too. So appreciate you. Mount Coiner says, I created some new Hex art and put it on Redbubble to add to the merch. Hey, and Mount Coiner, send the link. I'll post it up there. I can't see the APY yet. I believe that's because the day didn't roll over. Because once it officially locks in, then it'll count as official stakes. Cookie Boys, good to see you, my friend. He's got the most fire bling. Says the stream is great. Hit the like button. Thanks, Cookie Boys. Oh yeah, so this is a good like fiat on ramp. Is ramp.network for fiat onboard and your own wallet address. So heck yeah. Hey, Johnny Chaos. Johnny Chaos is great. He's always got really good streams that he does, and cool. He's all modded up. Yeah, so Johnny does great streams and funny short clips on Twitter every now and then. And the cool thing about Hex is we don't have like I don't know, I don't want to say it, but we got people that are willing to stand up to these pleb influencers, and like, if someone just shit talks Hex or the Hex community, they're gonna get backlash from people that know that it's not a scam and that know it was the top performing asset of 2020. And tell you what, the conference was great online. I remember there being like an average of like 750 to like 1,000 people during the live stream themselves. But just imagine how many people we're going to see in Vegas. And Maddie kind of talks about the analogy of the movie 300, right, with the Spartan soldiers, and that he wants to see like 300 Hexicans be there. But when I think about it, like, there very well could be more than 300. And I don't know, anywhere from like 2 to 2 to 400 is kind of like my guess of what it could be. And so it's not every day that you see, 2 to 400 individuals that are passionate about something, that are, realizing daily trustless interest. And I think we're really going to make a scene in Vegas, So there was a recent Hexican meetup in Florida. I think it was like Disneyland or something like that they all met up at, and there's maybe like 20 Hexicans. But this, thanks to Maddie, is going to be a lot more. It's going to be in advance, right? We've got like a little bit less than 3 months until the Vegas meetup, so that's a lot of time for people to plan if they want to go. And I think it's going to be a great time. Can't wait to see everyone and experience all that Vegas has to offer. So that's going to be awesome. Okay, let's. There's a couple other comments here. Okay, let's see. But maybe Brand knows also more. He can teach us. I don't know what they're talking about there, but yeah. Mount Coiner says, can't wait for the new chain or cheaper gas prices. It's hard to onboard average users with the gas fees. Hey, I agree completely, right? I got your average Joe that wants to spend maybe, $300 to $500, and especially when you're getting them set up on their own, Coinbase accounts or in their own Gemini accounts or whatever fiat on-ramp you're using. People don't want to spend $80 in fees just to get their stake started. So I agree. It's definitely going to be great. And Richard's kind of talked about it, and Kareem's even talked about it, where Ethereum network is kind of like the popular club, and there's a huge line and stuff like this. But at the end of the day, Richard's also said that he does want to look out for the little guy, and even for the people on layer 1. So it'll be cool to get back into onboarding some of the people that just have $100, that just have $200-$300 and want to get in and want to experience the gains that we've all experienced. Chaos Experience, Hex Fabio says, Brand's so rich now he can afford sleeves. yeah, I got a hoodie over there that's got some sleeves on it as well. Toby1 Hexobi says, BallietBran, do you have Trading View? I do. If so, pull up the chart I sent you on Telegram. I just made it public again. Yeah, why not? Let's pull up the chart. Okie dokie. Let's share the screen. All right, so we're going to pull up the chart that Toby was sending me. Okay, here it is. Okay, so Hex US dollar, and let's just zoom out. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a good chart. It's awesome to see how Hex has kind of been, I'm guessing this is Toby, but as whoever created this chart here, kind of has these, resistance line here. I mean, trend line here, trend line here. And you can see that Hex kind of bounces up and down, and then almost like a bull flag, right? It almost goes straight up and then flags out to the right. And that's kind of where it consolidates and then, does its up again and then consolidation. And that's pretty much what we have within Hex is a whole bunch of consolidation. Even before the actual stream itself, there was a little bit of a dip. And it's funny that I say this is a dip, right? Because it went to like 1.55 pennies. And, I saw this big red candle, and then I just see it getting eaten up again. And it's like, man, that just goes to show you. I remember looking at the Hex whale bot. There was like 10 million Hex that was just sold right on the market. And if you're going to sell, sure, you can market sell, but that's also going to dump the price. You can go to matcha.xyz, and you can do limit orders, and that way you're not even causing a price impact. Or you can go to oneinch.exchange, things like this that sure, you're waiting a little bit, but your orders are being filled as opposed to you being the market maker and selling on everyone's heads. So for anyone that doesn't want to cause price impact, that's definitely one way you can get the most bang for your buck, right? Oh, yeah, cool. Machiavelli, that's awesome, man. Stake successful in 12 minutes. that is very cool. Yeah, Miss Hexquisite. We got a lot of Hexicans actually in Japan. It's really cool. I've never been there, but the cool thing about Hexicans being everywhere is it gives me an excuse to travel the world, right? So hopefully once some of the restrictions kind of ease up a little bit, we can make that come into fruition. But she says Hex. She says hashtag Hex Japan, Hexican everywhere at Marcavelli. Nuzdarov says, I will buy a shirt maybe in like 5 years when my first stake ends, because for me, $20 in Hex is kind of big. Hey, I know what you mean. And, no sweat off my back. It's definitely something I understand, and something that, if I was in a similar position, I'd be wanting to save every penny that I made into Hex stakes as well too. Because that's really what it is Bitcoin's first transaction was like 10,000 Bitcoin, something like that, for a couple of pizzas. And that kind of showed its currency and its monetary value at that time. But ideally, the way that I think of things anymore is like, okay, if I need to buy a new like commuter vehicle, say it's going to be like $7,000 or $8,000. Well, do I really need to buy this, or how much Hex would that actually be if I didn't need to buy this? And just some of the Hexicans have kind of talked about it, that yeah, they're kind of thinking about their wealth and their purchases that they might have like splurged on before. They start to think about it in Hex terms and like, oh, how many t-shirts could I get instead of buying this pizza, or instead of going to the bar, stuff like that. So completely understandable, Nostarov. No worries there. Cookie Boy says, never be afraid to stand up to these plebs, especially on LiveStream. It's the best place to call them out. Yeah, Richard is like king of calling people out on LiveStream, and I love that he says, bring your heroes here to die, because as someone that used to follow the like Bitcoin maximalist sphere, in which I considered Richard one of them, there was a lot of these people like Stefan Livera, and I never followed Peter McCormick, thank God, but there's a lot of those people that kind of, like even Lex Friedman had Anthony Pompliano the other day, and he's thinking that Bitcoin could go to like 1 million in 2026. And obviously anything's possible, right? But I don't know. I just think it's much more possible for Hex to do that similar gain than it is for Bitcoin with its heavy diluted market cap, for it to go all the way to 1 million in 5 years. So I definitely agree, Cookie Boys. That's definitely one of those things that, like, hey, yeah, if someone's kind of poking you and you just do nothing, then you're going to look like the pushover, and you're going to look like the one that they're actually attacking. But if you can actually like provide a rebuttal and a standpoint to stand on, then maybe the people that were listening to those arguments before, maybe they'll listen to the arguments that we have for Hex. Because it really is designed to be not only the highest appreciating asset over Bitcoin, but it's designed to be like a global reserve currency, and it's definitely doing what it's designed to do. I mean, right now it's top 13 market cap, Bitcoin's top 1, and we saw even in 2020 when Hex went up to its all-time high, we saw Hex at top 5 market cap, and there's a lot of people that, when Hex had its big payday, because a lot of people staked, right, the market cap dropped back down. And then now, ever since big payday, it's just been climbing back up again. And you have a lot of people that don't see what's going on. But Hex really is just slowly but surely climbing up, man. And it's awesome to see that we're really making a dent in the system. And even people like Matty Allen, in about 46 minutes, he's got an audio chat on the t.me/Hex Crypto Telegram. He's got audio chat between Clay, the founder of Nomics, and Richard Hart, and they're kind of talking about, I was in that chat too, and I was recording on my phone, but I need a better software because it didn't actually record the audio. But Maddie did get some of that audio coverage, so you guys must watch it in 46 minutes from now. But Clay was talking like, man, Richard, so I've done some research on Hex, and he's like, why is everyone gatekeeping Hex, and why is everyone crap talking Hex? And so there's so many people that they stand back and they look at Hex from like an unbiased view, and they're like, man, this is kind of being unfairly judged. So it's cool to see that Richard and Clay were able to kind of talk and converse on ways that Clay might be able to update his statistics and data to make it even better. So that's definitely going to be a great stream to watch. Oh yeah, no, totally. So this is definitely something that I agree with. So Crypto Learner says, and take care in Vegas. Don't fall into the trap of spending all your money on gambling. Do the 5. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Thankfully for someone like myself, I've never had like a gambling addiction, and that's one of the amazing things about Hex, right? Is it's designed to do the opposite. So gambling can be like a short-term gratification or a short-term loss, but there's always like that I don't know, that like dream that like, oh, you're gonna hit the lottery, or that, oh, you're gonna win big on this on the next one. Not on this one that I just lost all my money on, but definitely on the next one I'm gonna win. And the cool thing about Hex is not only do I not have that, but Hex really incentivizes you to do the opposite. It's not a get rich quick scheme at all. It's almost like a build wealth slowly and accumulate wealth slowly. So, I mean, you got people calling it a get rich quick scheme, and it's like, yeah, but the average stake length is 5.33 years. That's a long time, and the longest you can lock it up is 15.2. That doesn't seem like get rich quick to me at all. It really doesn't. And then you look at the people that are touting those arguments, and it's like, oh yeah, they're shilling Bybit links, they're shilling, CoinMarketCap, TradingView and Binance and all this stuff. And it's like, seems like you're kind of projecting the arguments that are actually valid to you, not to me. So a lot of Hexicans, they definitely share those similar ideals of not letting people get wrecked. And even the other day, I heard a lady in the Hex Telegram chat. She was like, hey, is there a Hex help desk and blah, blah, blah. And, they were trying to help me out in private messages. And immediately we're like, lady, you lost all your crypto that wasn't Hex. You need to take whatever Hex you had and create a new MetaMask.io wallet and transfer what you had into that new, MetaMask.io wallet, because their Telegram is great, right? But there's a lot of people, unfortunately, that will prey on newcomers and people that don't know what they're doing. So it's definitely one of those things that, like, in crypto, they say like not your keys, not your crypto. And with things like MetaMask.io, it creates a 12-word private seed phrase. And you can even have a password, but the password doesn't mean anything. If you just have the private seed phrase, those 12 words, that is the key, and that is the password to that crypto. So just never share that with anyone. Look at the actual URL whenever you're doing anything on a website, because there's a lot of phishing attacks too. So it's one of those things where it really is like the wild, wild west. And the only thing that we can do, and the best thing that we can do, is just try and educate. So if you're getting people onboarded, educate them about safe practices and about hardware wallets or notes to safe, things like this, because at the end of the day, 15.2 years is a long, long time to be locking something. And you're not going to realize those gains until 15.2 years later. And you want to make sure that you've done the proper precautions now to be able to realize those amazing future gains. HexMac, great to see you, my friend. Crypto Learner, good vibes. Yep. Always good vibes in here. Hell yeah. Sup, Cookie Boys. Yeah, Chaos Experience. I mean, yeah, he definitely knows what I'm talking about here. Smart sellers use limit orders. They don't devalue the rest of the Hex they sold. There's a Hex whale bot, and like I said before the stream, I saw like a 10 point something million Hex just market sell, and sure, that person made some profit and whatnot, but they also lost some of their profit due to the slippage. And so yeah, if you can have a limit sell, then when someone wants to limit buy into your sell, then there is going to be like no slippage. And you're going to be able to get the maximum value, the maximum bang for your buck when you do limit orders, as opposed to just dumping on the market as opposed to just market buying and raising the price up significantly where people can sell that down to a wick. So yeah, what's up, Cookie? Yo, HexMac. Toby1. Yeah, Toby1, I know you've been in the Hex t.me/Hex crypto audio chats. It's been cool to hear your perspectives. Like I said, I like the audio chats because people that don't feel comfortable, like say if I invite someone on this stream right now, a lot of people do feel like it's like all eyes on them and like they're presenting in front of the classroom, especially if you're on camera. But the cool thing about that chat is all you have to do is just like tap the unmute and you can just talk the whole time, or you can just hold it and speak whatever sentences you want. But it's organized very well, and it's definitely pretty cool. Why would you ever sell into the pump? Yeah, that's just the thing is even someone, speaking of the Hex voice chat, there was someone that was talking about that they've got staked Hex and then they've got some liquid Hex that they trade with, and they were saying that that they try and buy the dips and sell the rips was their exact phrase, and they were saying that like even with this most recent run up that we've had, we can see right now we're at 1.68 pennies. They said that they got left behind, and that's definitely what can happen when you're trading. Is you can get left behind, and anyways, that would suck to be one of those people that was just sitting on the sideline. That was just, some people get so particular that they think like, oh, the price has to hit this number for me to buy. And in reality, sometimes it's just not that way. Toby1 Hexobi says, Bran is the most sincere, polite, considerate person in crypto. Hey, appreciate you, Toby. And I know when we streamed on Discourse Syndicate the other day, you said you were still setting up your stream, and if you ever want to come on, man, you're always welcome. And your stream backdrop, as I was saying the other day, looked pretty cool. So it's cool to see everyone in here. And the cool thing is Richard even mentions it, that even though he's the founder of Hex, he's learned a lot from even just the Hexicans and just how the crypto works by it existing. And so there's a lot that we can learn from each other and from all the other Hexicans. Let's see. Mount Coiner says, not sure if my Redbubble link went through. If you can find it by searching MT Coiner on Redbubble. I'll have to do that a little bit later. Andrew Martin says, do you have any price predictions for December 2021? I mean, Hexologist, he has a $2.01 price prediction. I think Wells Only has mentioned $10. I mean, maybe it's kind of meet in between. I mean, $2.01 is very possible. We saw 360, I think it's like 362x versus US dollar that Hex did last year. And that's just versus the dollar. That's not even the actual share price, which went up like 500 something X. So yeah, I mean, I'd say it's tough to say like this is going to be in December, because sometimes you could just have a pump up before then. But yeah, I mean, 201 to Hexologist's point, that's very feasible. And Whales Only, what he mentions as well, $10 is very feasible as well. I mean, it could definitely be in the multiple dollars. And when you look at Richard's random line chart that he's got, that line is just diagonal and up and to the right. And the thing is when you've got the liquidity, when you've got the amount of liquidity that we do, people need to buy in. And when they buy in with bigger amounts, it's going to push the price up higher. And there's like those little calculators that show like, a $1 million buy or $10 million buy would do this. So, I mean, to answer your question, Crypto Learner says even 10 cents would be a dream for me. I remember back in the day, like just getting in, being like, man, if we just reach 1 penny, like we're going to be set. And then it reached 1 penny, and then it reached 2 pennies by the end of the year. So it definitely could be, multiple dollars. I mean, my guess would be like, to kind of mimic Hexologist 201 could be $3. it really could be significantly higher than you think, because there's also psychological numbers that people FOMO in at and that people realize. Yash Deep was mentioning last night during his live stream with Whales Only and Crypto Vince and Unwrecked Pirate that there are certain psychological numbers that wealthy people buy in at. So maybe they don't want to buy at 1.6 pennies. Maybe they want to buy in at $1. And sometimes they want it to be higher for them to consider it more legitimate. And so there's also like a cascading effect too, where it's like you got, big green candles going up and up and up and up, and then, the flags and whatnot. And some people think it's going to dip, and in reality it doesn't, and it continues pumping for X amount of time. So yeah, I mean, when you have momentum and when you've got a crypto community like we've got with all of the voice chats and all of the people educating each other, the price could go to multiple dollars sooner than we think. And one thing I do want to mention, let me go to go.hex.com, because I posted this just the other day. I mean, it was super generic, but we'll go back to it real quick here. So yeah, just go.hex.com, and it shows the T-share market cap, the T-share versus US dollar. Okay, here it is. So T-share daily close price in US dollars, and just scroll down a smidge. So, on the x-axis, it's day. On the y-axis, it's dollar. But, back in the day, it used to be like 60-cent T-share, 50-cent T-share. But what I'm trying to point out is, I think it was around here, was the April time frame. And that's when we had this big run-up from, about $5.89 per T-share all the way to like $60 per T-share. And we've never gone back to these kind of prices. And we can even look at the same thing on uniswap.hex.vision version 1. Let's do that now. One second. Let me share the screen real quick. So this is the version 1 chart. This is the historical chart. And for anyone that hasn't been in Hex for a very long time, sometimes you got to just look at the historical chart to see what Hex really has done, because sometimes there was some misinformation on people that were posting Uniswap version 2, and they're saying oh, Hex dipped down to its all-time low. It's like, no, in reality, you weren't looking at the version 1 chart that had all the historical data. So yeah, around March 31st to April 15th was when we had this let's zoom in a smidge. So yeah, around this little yellow circle, we had this consolidation, and then just a freaking breakout to the absolute moon. And say from April 15th to May 13th. One second here. Went up 1,000%, like a 10x, right? And it just really never went back to those prices. Sure, it consolidated a little bit over here, but you can just see kind of how sporadic and how quickly the Hex price can move. And this is just on the weekly chart itself. So like I said, when you have these green candles just going vertical and just going straight up, and you've got a lot of buy pressure and you've got the liquidity where it's at, there's so many factors that can make the price is what it is. And it seems that we possibly could be repeating a similar fractal. Okay, let's go back. So Cookie Boy says 28 cents by end of year. I would love that. That would be amazing. Those price calls would be even more awesome and amazing. $2.01 and $10. Hey, I agree. I mean, I look at the amount of T-shares and the amount of Hex I have now, and it's like, man, it doesn't take many more X's to be like, hey, I'm set, So that's an amazing feeling. Let's see, what else do we got? There's a couple comments that got skipped over. Let me try and go back. Okay, yeah. So Marcavelli says 2 pennies is freaking me out. I know what you mean. Nezdarov says Telegram audio chat would be cool. Having a separate text chat. I agree with this. Having a separate text chat for those who are scared and don't want to interrupt someone. I know what you mean, yeah, because there's like the t.me/hex crypto chat that everyone kind of participates in, but I feel like some of them don't realize that there actually is an audio chat in that same room. So I know what you mean there. Michael_Hex says, looks like the price has been over the random line only once, so we have to get over it again. And that's just the thing. Richard kind of mentioned it like a quadruple top, right, on the price chart, where usually it's like a double top and then it breaks out. But Hex has had like a quadruple, and now we're kind of seeing the breakout. So the more times that it touches that same price floor again, whether you're going in an upwards market or downwards market, it either becomes like a resistance or it becomes support. And it seems like we're not going back to a penny anytime soon, just from what I've observed. So yeah, I definitely agree. It's pretty awesome. Piston Broke 5,555 says, Galactable, yeah, I do not trade anything anymore. That is the cool thing about it, is you can earn interest. Like right now, I'm just streaming with you lovely people, and I'm earning interest the whole time and earning a significant amount of interest. And it's cool that Hex really allows you to, free up the time to work on health, to work on relationships, hang out with your family, your girlfriend, or to do productive things outside of Hex and crypto. And it's amazing. I think once people realize, like, man, I don't have to trade to earn a profit, and I don't have to use leverage to earn a profit, and I don't have to get wrecked anymore. And it's just so much easier. And even recently, I've seen a lot of people in the Hex Telegram being like, yeah, I've heard about Hex and I used to trade, but then I had some losses in trading and just trading got too much. And I just wanted something that would earn an interest without me having to like be so stressed. And Hex does just that. I mean, I used to know traders, and even myself used to like stare at the screen for like 8 hours a day trying to swing trade and do all these trades. And it's like, man, you can really tire yourself out and stress yourself out by doing that. So Hex definitely gives you back your time and your freedom. David Morales says $3.69 by end of year. That sounds good to me. I'd totally be fine with that. Hex Diablo says, takes strong hands to hold off when it starts to run away price-wise. So I want to comment to that, because sometimes it almost feels like there's a sentiment of like, man, if you don't have 100% of your bag staked for 10 to 15 years, then you're a blank. And to Hex Diablo's point, and to my experience in Hex, is this is why I'm a huge proponent of having a ladder, right? So you can stake from 1 day all the way up to 5,555 days, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to stake biannually, twice a year or once a year, things like this, where you're still giving yourself like gradual profit and like a gradual gratification, but it's not something like now you're tempted to emergency end stake a 15.2 year stake just because it pumped 1,000x. So I personally, I keep like a couple percent liquid, and then I've got some shorter term stakes that are about once a year or twice a year that just keep me from doing anything stupid. And also it keeps me being able to realize a little bit of profit here and there, and to continue to roll over the rest into whatever I want to do. So it's definitely something that you can think about it now, and you can structure your plan now. So in the future, 1,000x from now, you're not end staking your big stakes. So it's definitely something you got to think about, because that's the last thing you want to do. Someone even mentioned recently that they were afraid of the end stake fees going up during it's either the Berlin or the London hard fork. And so they ended a stake that was at like 95%. And instead of realizing like a 44,000 hex gain, they realized like 2 or 3,000 of it. And they're like, well, why did I lose so much? And part of why they lost a little bit was because they had it pre-big payday. But it just goes to show you that Hex really does reward those that, that do what they said they were going to do, and that stake for that hold, right? That have those diamond hands. And so if you feel like you can't hold for that long, just do a smaller stake. I mean, as opposed to realizing that stake at halfway, you should really think about the strategy. So that's just one thing that I've heard before that I agree with. All right, Galactable says, that has been my main practice to leave the pattern, at least holding positions for longer than hours and getting real sleep. But now I just want to sell all my crypto for Hex and support this great community. Hey, that's awesome. I had a similar feeling and did a similar thing before Hex came out. I'd had Litecoin, Chainlink, Tezos, Theta, Ethereum and whatnot, but that's kind of like standard. But anyways, yeah, when Hex came out, and since Richard had proven himself over time, yeah, I kind of did go all into Hex and liquidated all my other bags. But that's just me. I mean, yeah, so that's cool that you're considering whatever you want to. And the cool thing about Hex is the way that it's designed is what makes something go up in price. More buyers than sellers. Okay, well, now you've got something that incentivizes people to buy and hold, which is going to make the price go up even more. And now we've got like $1 billion locked up for an average of like 5.3 something years. And it's amazing to see the mechanics of Hex working exactly how it should be. So yeah, I definitely understand those thoughts, and I've had them before Hex launched, and glad I made the decisions that I did. Let's see. Piston Broke Quattro Cinco says, Nozdorov, true, but if you have a valid point and it is well thought out, then do not be fearful expressing it. Agreed. All right, we're going to read a few more comments, and then I'll let Maddie get prepared for his stream, and we'll wrap it up soon. So Galactable says, even if the pattern has given me gains, the stress and lack of sleep has been a major killer of my motivation over the years. Hey, you and me can definitely relate, man. I was stressing the hell out of myself and getting pretty goddamn depressed when I was trading. And honestly, part of it, like just being blatantly honest, like part of it was kind of, using a little bit of leverage and this and that. And anyways, it's I'm glad I'm not in that position I was previously, because now when I go to sleep and wake up, I don't have to fear like a long or a short being closed, and I don't have to fear of a major wick to the upside or the downside that's going to close a position or liquidate me. And I tell you what, yeah, you kind of mentioned like the trader mentality and whatnot, and it's crazy. You could be making $100,000 a year, but spending 50 to 60 hours trading, and you could be miserable. Like, I mean, I remember when I was trading and when I thought I was, so successful trading, and man, I wasn't spending like any time with my family, and, I was neglecting a lot of other things, including sleep. And, I even remember a Hexologist mentioning it, and not to speak about him personally, but some traders, like, it is kind of like an addiction, right? Like almost like a gambling addiction. And especially with the sleep thing, now you might start, taking extra caffeine to stay up, or which is gonna accentuate the side effects of the lack of sleep even more. So, oh yeah, he also says, real quick shout out to Guy, good to see you. They also say, I want to live healthier with less worry and be a part of this community that I truly believe in, gains or not. Hey, that's awesome. I mean, what I can say is the average stake length is like 5.3 something years. People are earning, including myself, like a daily interest paid out per T-share you have. If you've got like a longer time horizon and you're willing to delay your gratification, then if you stake for 3,641 days, all the way up to 5,555 days, you're going to earn 3 times the amount of T-shares than you would if you just staked for 1 month. And that T-share is what earns you the interest. So as HEX, the actual T-share, say it goes from 17,000 to 100, say in 5 or 10 years it goes to 100,000 HEX per T-share. You're going to have that amount of T-shares that you locked for the duration of the stake. And it's going to continue going up, and people are going to continue paying higher prices. And as people end their stakes before you end yours, you're just going to continue, sitting back and just raking in the dough, collecting that interest. So, that's cool that you're having those thoughts. HEX really is, like Richard has mentioned, he never thought it was going to be fun, never thought it was going to be improving people's health and relationships and stuff like this. But it really does give you that opportunity to have your time back. So it's pretty cool. Hex Diablo says, guess in the long run, as you accumulate more HEX at these low prices, you really cannot lose. Completely agree. Oh yeah, Johnny. I know you talk about this a lot, and I definitely agree with the sentiment. So, Chaos Experience says, one Satoshi HEX is legendary. Now sub-cent HEX is legendary. Soon, under 10 cents HEX will be legendary. You don't notice you're on the floor until the price moves. And that's exactly right. So many people, this is where Wells only came out and made his videos, was because so many people were complaining that HEX was just chopping up, sideways the whole time, above a penny and below a penny the whole time for such a long time. But to Johnny's point that, hey, we might not ever go back to sub-cent HEX. And to his point also, like once you hit 1 penny, 3 pennies, 6 pennies, 9 pennies, past 10 pennies, like there's those certain psychological numbers that people might not think a product is legitimate until it reaches those numbers. And then now that HEX hits 10 pennies, or now that HEX hits $1, now I'm going to buy in. And the people that were able to see the future before that, they reap the rewards. So Chaos Experience also says, think about it. If you could buy, one second, let's see. Okay, so he says, think about it. If you could buy future $1 for a dime, how many would you buy? We don't know the price for certain. It's the reason we hesitate. And Johnny, you mentioned a good point. I mean, Bid Finesse kind of mentions, like in Whales Only, like that it is kind of like a money printer, right? We've seen the Federal Reserve have their money printers and they can print it, but we can't. But with things like HEX, not only are you earning an interest, but the interest is paid out in HEX. So some of these other lending and protocols and whatnot, they're paid out in a different crypto. And it's like, well, clearly you're getting it from some sort of centralized entity and things like this. So anyways, to his point, like if you could go back and rewind time and buy $1 Bitcoin or 1 penny Bitcoin, and now you see Bitcoin at $55,000, how many would you buy? But the thing is also is like, how long is your time frame? I mean, because so many people are just happy to make it 2x, let alone 100x. So you really got to consider that cryptocurrency is the highest appreciating asset class in the world. And Richard has this little like promotional thing saying like 38% APY, and in the little promotional thing it says like that even though cryptocurrency is the highest appreciating asset class, you have people that still call Bitcoin a scam. And Bitcoin's been around for like 11 to 12 years. And there's people that they've stood while being wrong and called it a scam the whole time. And then, went up 6 million X. And same thing with Ethereum. Ethereum pumped up like crazy too. And people still call it a scam. And so same thing with HEX. Like, there's always going to be people that can't think for themselves, that can't see something for what it is, and that can't dismiss the naysayers that are telling them that something is a scam or that this founder is a scam. And in reality, it's like, man, you look at all these people that call like Richard Hart fraudulent and stuff like this. It's like, you look at Richard's old businesses and whatnot. And like he said, like find one person that he ever gave a bad deal to, let alone scam. Like scam literally means like, you're trying to steal their money and you're trying to pull a fast one on them. And anyways, a lot of those people don't really know what they're talking about. So that's why HEX really is the IQ test, because you got to learn to be able to decipher the BS and be able to see what the product actually is. Because whether people think it's a scam or not, it's still going to run with 100% uptime, and it's still going to pay out each person per T-share a daily interest. Let's see. Bran, curious as to 10 years ago, what was your YouTube channel about? Yeah, I mean, we can go to my YouTube channel. So, I've always kind of been like weird and quirky and post random stuff that I enjoy. I mean, my first YouTube videos were like cooking videos. And if I scroll all the way down, I'll show you real quick here. Why not? Since you asked, we'll share. So yeah, this is just youtube.com/BallietBran where you're watching this. And I actually had like 30 videos before this that in 2010, YouTube had some sort of like change when Google bought them out. And something happened with my account where it deleted all of my videos that I had. And like some of the videos were pretty good as well. Like my oldest brother, Steve, was boxing my neighbor and had some pretty entertaining videos there. But yeah, I mean, you can see I got like, this was like a pre-workout that I used to take, just some cooking stuff. I've always liked cooking, as you can see by the excess chub. How to make a Smucker's Uncrustable. This was some lady that was in our junior high that I made a rap about, Emma Terry. So you kind of just see it's kind of just BSing. I mean, 4 years ago, I was doing some squatting, some weightlifting, and yeah, just stuff that I've been passionate about. I mean, I've always liked exercise, even though I've not always maintained, the best body and stuff like this. And, I got a Dodge Neon that I drive that I'm upgrading really soon that I've tried to, just try to help people, right? Like for my Dodge Neon, a manual transmission, it had the shifter linkage, the 5 gears, and the gears were getting pretty tight. And so just stuff that I was having problems with that people might have been able to watch and get some help from as well. DR says no more margin trading. Yeah, margin trading, well, it multiplies like the house against you, so it really kicks your butt, especially when you're losing. So, and that's the thing too with trading. I'm going to wrap this up soon, but that's the thing with trading is like, it's just like gambling, right? Your first experience gambling might be, say you won $1,000 off of $10 or off of $100. So you get this euphoria and you get this like chemical that's like equivalent to like the strongest drugs in the world. And now you feel like you're just top notch, top dog. And that, your next gamble is going to be another 10X and stuff like this. And it's just like any other addiction, right? Where like, you don't realize how deep you are until, yeah, you are chasing the next high and you are, a lot deeper than you thought you'd ever be. So Bitfinesse says, and good to see you, Bitfinesse. It's been cool to see you on the audio chats. I heard Bran may do a video on cornbread that stays moist even if it's unwrapped for a week. That's just what I've heard. Hey, I make some good ass banana bread. I tell you what. How high is your IQ about HEX under a penny? Hey, that's a great answer. I love that. Wait till Richard gets his HEX grayscale concept off the ground. Big adoption coming. And that's the cool thing about the grayscale that I actually didn't understand until Richard had mentioned it, is that you cannot redeem the grayscale stock for Bitcoin. So there's like no negative price pressure towards Bitcoin because you're just paid out in dollar. And so when Richard mentioned like the same thing with like staked and wrapped T-shares, it was like, holy shit, dude, this would just be like positive price pressure. And especially when you've got something, like T-shares, it could be a very similar business model to Grayscale, if not more. And so, yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, Richard, as we know, there's no promises, there's no expectations of future work from anyone, especially Richard. That's why he released it completed. But there always seems to be some sort of great news and great things going on in Hex. So that's even cooler to be a part of. Not only do I've got my X number of T-shares, but every day it just seems like there's more and more people coming into the community. There's newer people asking questions. We're able to educate them and teach them security, right? Because I've got coworkers that are like, Bran, I hear you're in cryptocurrency. I bought Doge on my Robinhood app. And, what do you recommend I buy on Robinhood? And it's like, well, Robinhood, you don't actually hold your keys, right? You're holding, you're not actually holding the reserve currency itself. So, it's cool to be able to educate people with the hype that we're seeing in crypto of why you should take security seriously now. Because I tell you what, the people that don't take security seriously now, say whatever bag you own, it might not even be a Hex, but say with Hex, say it goes up 100x, now your $1,000 is $100,000. Well, that's some serious money, and if you weren't taking it seriously then, and all of a sudden your computer crashes and you're like, oh yeah, I got those 12 words saved on my screenshot, or I've got those 12 words written down on that piece of paper. Well, say that piece of paper with the seed phrase is now faded. The ink is faded because it got a little bit of water or it got something. Like, these are the things you should be thinking about now, because especially with the way that cryptocurrency is the highest appreciating asset and the way that Hex is designed to do that and then some, it's something that can happen sooner than later. And, now all of a sudden you got, $3,000 that you invested in the beginning that's now worth $350,000 or $500,000. And you'll want to have your security taken seriously before you get to that point. Let's see. Toby says, damn it, y'all, the old lady just got to balance. Hey, dude, no worries at all, man. Yeah, definitely got to take care of priorities, man. I know how that goes. Good to hang out with everyone. Hey, good to see you too, man. Crypto Ewok says, speaking of no promises, I was surprised that Richard let us know about the fork this early. Hey, I agree. I think a lot of us, even myself, right, we're complaining about the high gas fees. And I tell you what, even the with the Uniswap airdrop, I mentioned that I got my brothers in, my girlfriend in, and my parents in as well. But with my brothers, like, they've got a stake that's worth I think it's like $90. And to end the stake, it was like a little bit less than a year-long stake, but just for a proof of concept. They got other stakes too, but it's like $70 just to end the stake. And it's like, all right, well, I'm not going to take what could be an $89 worth of profit. I'm not going to, the long story short is I'm going to wait until that fork happens, and then I'm going to end their stakes, because the last thing you want to be doing is now you're paying the Ethereum middlemen, the Ethereum miners, and as opposed to that money going back in and buying more Hex. So it's definitely something that Richard has talked about, of it always being a possibility. And it's the best decision that could ever happen. And especially for us that remember those penny stakes, those even dollar transactions, right? $1 to stake your Hex or to unstake. We really need to get back to those kind of prices to see your average Joe getting in. And that's kind of where I'll leave it. Let's see if there was anything else that I had. So we had the Hex price pumping. That's great. Let's remove the comment. So yeah, we got the Hex price pumping. That's great. We got the forking Ethereum. We got the Hexican.Vegas. And then we got soon a Lex Friedman podcast. So that's going to be amazing. I was telling my friends last night at a birthday dinner that, because one of the people, he's a fan of Joe Rogan. And so I was like, oh, you're a fan of Joe Rogan? You ever heard of Lex Friedman? Oh, yeah, I've heard of Lex Friedman. And he just had that guy on that was interested in Bitcoin, right? Yeah. Well, he's going to be having on the founder of Hex, Richard Hart. And at the end of the day, no one knows when this time frame is, right? But Lex Friedman did kind of post a short video, like less than a minute video of all the people that he was going to be having on soon, whether controversial or not. He wanted to learn more about it. And Richard Hart is one of them. So that is confirmed. Richard Hart will be, we don't know for a fact if Richard's going to Lex or if Lex is going to Richard, but we know it's going to be happening. So, things like this and with where we're at in Hex and with where we're at in the price chart, it's like, man, things are just getting spicy. And I remember the April pump, and I remember what the price chart was doing then, where people are kind of getting bored, and you're spoiled when you're just earning interest the whole time, and the price is just going sideways, and then it just goes straight up, and now everyone's complaining that they didn't get it cheaper. So, anyways, there's always stuff to look forward to in Hex, and I'll go over to Maddie's stream. We'll go over to it's in about 5 minutes, so I'm not going to stream for another 5 minutes, but I'm at least going to link y'all to the channel. It's just the audio call that Clay, the founder of Nomics, and Richard did. So I'll post that in just a minute here. We got a guy getting there hopefully soon. Great. Mount Coiner says, I had a $110 stake that costed $98 to end. I decided to end it because I wanted the Hex more than the Ethereum. I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean. And that's what I've learned. It's like, okay, even though there might be like cheaper fees in the future, like what I can only change and what I can only do is what is today and what is now. So if I know that the fees are going to be a lot higher, then hey, I'm going to have a minimum amount of Hex that I'm doing for my stakes. And for me, it's anywhere from like 50 to 100,000. And at the end of the day, Hex really should be treated like a CD. And that's something that one of the bigger players has kind of mentioned, that a lot of us, including myself, had some smaller ladders, right? Some smaller stakes. And all of a sudden you got monthly stakes that are now $100 to end the stake itself. And it's like, man, if I can just pay myself once per year or twice per year, then I'm going to have more T-shares because I'm consolidating it. And I'm going to have to pay, I won't have to pay so many transaction fees. So that's kind of just like a win-win. So that's definitely something that I've learned, even with, in the future, hopefully, the gas fees going down, is, hey, treat it like a CD. I mean, shit, you don't need to have like 100, 200 stakes, You can have, 15 stakes or 30 stakes, things like that. So that's just my opinion. That's just what I've learned. And it's because I made those same mistakes. So you're not the only one there. Crypto Learner says, thanks, Bran, for your constant work without getting paid. My respect. Hey, it's true, man. It's passion, and if anyone wants to ever throw shekels, the Ethereum address is down below, but it's definitely not expected. Like I said, I do this because it is a passion, and I like being able to bring on my friends and my coworkers. I like to tell them about my channel and educate them, because honestly, any more like me educating them person to person, it's just way too much time. Like, hey, if you want to pay me to teach you, that's great. But otherwise, this is really time consuming, and I got a busy ass life outside of teaching that person. So if I can kind of give them the tips and tricks here on the stream, then I can at least arm them with enough information to be able to, have them start their own stakes. Let's see, Mountain Coiner, that's a good call. Let's see. I feel like the Hex will grow in value more than the Ethereum equivalent over time. I still got a deal. Hey, I totally know what you mean. Piston Broke, Quattrocinco says, awesome stream today, bro. Appreciate you. Hey, thank you. Appreciate you as well. So, yeah, without further ado, let me just share something real quick here. Yeah, so pretty much you can go to the description. You can see there's like 4 different links that I got to some Hex swag, and including this. This was one of them. The stake. Let's see, it's like stake 5,555 with an astronaut on the moon. So that's pretty cool. We're all going to the moon and then Saturn together, and this is just the beginning. If you could rewind time, if you could have the the Back to the Future, like the sports almanac thing, the sports betting thing, that would show all the future winnings and losses. If you could have that, well, that's pretty much what like Hex feels like. It's like, dude, this is the winning bet. This is better than Bitcoin. This is the next Bitcoin. Bitcoin's like 11 and 12-year-old technology. And this is that newer generation and newer iteration of a better technology. So Maddie's show is about to start in like 1 minute here. Let me just link everybody. 4 o'clock now. And let's see. It doesn't look like it's starting right this second. I do ideally want him to start just so I can raid him on Twitch. But I did post the link just now. So his title is "There's 99 people waiting." So just shout out to you, Maddie. You always kick ass, and I appreciate you. And crypto corruption exposed. Nomic CEO speaks to Hex founder Richard Hart. So he did actually just go live. Let me see if on Twitch, if I can just rate him real quick there too. 1 second, y'all. Let's see. Okay, he's not on Twitch yet, but he is on YouTube, right? So go to the link that I sent y'all. I'll end the stream here. You can go to BallietBran.com. It's a website that I still need to update everything, but allmylinks.com/BallietBran as well. And I'll see y'all next Tuesday for the Knights of the Crypto Table. It's going to be 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And thank you for everyone tuning in. So without further ado, I'll see everyone over at the Maddie Allen stream, and appreciate everyone for tuning in.